morning and Happy New Year. It is January 1, 2020. We are day 5 at Shenandoah National Park. Took it a little bit easy this morning. We slept in and figured that we'd head out and hit just one trail today and then explore the park a little and just see what the south has. That's the section that we will be heading to later on this morning. But for now, we are going to be doing the South River Falls. Our plan for today is we're here. We're gonna head down to the observation point and then likely continue on down to the base of the falls. Looks like they're 83 feet and then come on back out. The weather is chilly this morning. It was 32 as we got out of the car, so coldest day so far.
We have come to our first trail marker, and it looks like it's we're crossing the Appalachian Trail again. So Kelly's just looking at the trail marker to see how much farther we have to go.
It says South River Falls 1.2. Then it also says observation point 1.5.
We've been pretty lucky on this trip so far as hiking and blisters and things like that, and any type of foot problem. So today Kelly felt a rock in her shoe, so we went ahead and stopped so she can just get rid of that so that doesn't develop into any problems later on our hike. About a quarter mile into our hike, we had to shed some layers already. The wind down here is not as much as it was up there, so it doesn't feel as cold. Although we're going downhill, we were still building up a little bit of heat. So we took off mainly our outer layer stuff. I took off my gloves, hat, neck gaiter. Kelly took off basically all that, put on her Gore-Tex top just for a light jacket. So hopefully we should be pretty good for the rest of the trip down. On today's hike, the sky is pretty clear. There's not a cloud up there. That's a big change from the previous 3 or 4 days that we've been hiking. The rest of the time it's either been cloudy, raining, or partly cloudy. So today's a little bit of a difference with just the sun. There's absolutely no clouds in the sky whatsoever. So I'm not sure if that's making it colder, nothing to trap in the heat or anything. We are 0.7 miles into our hike, and the trail has brought us alongside a nice little stream. I think from the map, looking at it before, I think we follow this all the way to the falls, or at least a majority of the way for the rest of the time. So once again, it's always nice to be able to walk along a stream or a river so you have that nice water background or water noise in the background.
One of the things that I have noticed on this trail is that it's kind of a mix of all of the trails that we've been on so far. So you have some pockets that are nice and smooth, no rocks or tree roots, and not really even many leaves. And then you hit other pockets that are very rocky and then even still other pockets that have a lot of tree roots. So you're always having to kind of watch where you're stepping and navigating to make sure that you've got a stable footing.
Here at the national park, as we're doing our hikes, we've noticed a lot of moss, you know, on the trees, on the rocks, on the ground, things like that. There's different shades of it. There's dark green. Most of it's dark green, I should say. But we just passed a log with like really kind of like fluorescent green moss. And so that was pretty cool. So we stopped and took a picture of that.
Walking along the river here, it makes me think sometimes that we should try to record this sound and it can lull us to sleep tonight as we go to bed. You can kind of imagine then that you're, you know, camping somewhere and you have the stream nearby.
We just passed through a little muddy area on the trail. Luckily there were some rocks there, so we could just rock hop our way across so we didn't have to get our boots all muddy. This is supposed to be a popular trail out here. Luckily for us, we haven't seen anybody on the trail yet. Up at the trail parking, there was about 5 cars, and you know, there was really nowhere else to go, so I'm sure they're out on the trail somewhere. But so far, it's just been us, and which is nice to have some solitude and just walking out here and just enjoying the scenery and enjoying the river.
We have reached our second stream crossing, so let's get ready to do some rock hopping. Success! Our nemesis of this trip is the wind. When it kicks up and blows, it makes it quite chilly. And then when it's not blowing, and like today when we have the sun out, it's a quite pleasant walk. That is why dressing in layers is very nice, because we can take stuff on and off. This net gaiter has probably come on and off about 2 or 3 times so far. Mostly on when the wind kicks up, and then mostly off when we warm back up.
We are getting pretty close to the waterfall. You can hear it a little bit. I'm not sure if you'll be able to hear it in the video, but in the distance too, we can kind of see the bottom of the waterfall. So we're definitely coming close to the observation platform. We'll take a look what it looks like from there, and then we'll head down to the base of the waterfall. We have made it to the observation deck. So let's take a look to see what we see from here.
You can kind of make out the falls. The trees make it a little bit difficult for a clear line of sight, but you can make it out through the trees. If this was the springtime or summer or fall when these trees are full of leaves, I think it'd be very difficult to really see much.
The view from this observation deck is so-so. This next part is supposed to be really steep. It's only about like 0.8 miles, but I think it's all downhill, and hopefully it's not too bad, but I think there's gonna be a lot of switchbacks just to get us down to the base of the fall. Little did we know that this little 8-mile hike to the base of the falls, it's not just all downhill. The first, probably quarter of the way is pretty much is a nice steep incline, so we started getting hot, so we shed our final layer of clothing just for the ascent up here, and then hopefully when we get up here we'll get in some shade or it cools down a little bit, but still looking forward to the falls.
So base of the falls, it looks like it says it's a ½ mile that direction, and then when we come back to this point, you have 2 ways you can go. We can backtrack past the falls again, or take this road behind us back to the parking lot. It looks like they're about equal distance. It says picnic area via this road is 1.6, and then if I look on this side, it says picnic area is 1.7, so about even. I think we'll take the road we haven't done before. Onto the falls. We've come across our first people on the trail, a couple and their 2 dogs. We're coming down the road, or down the trail that we'll be exiting out of here from once we get to the base of the falls. And they're a little bit ahead of us on their way down to the base of the falls as well. It still kind of tickles me every time that we see dogs, because it's not a common occurrence in the parks, but as we have read and obviously have seen, Shenandoah is one of the places that you can bring your dog into the national park.
We are getting very close now. We can actually see the falls from our location. Just a few more feet or so, and then we'll get a good commanding view of the base of the falls. We have made it to the base of the falls. Time to drop our packs. I'm gonna put on my jacket because it's a little bit cold here, and then we're gonna go ahead and explore and check it out a little bit. This is a pretty cool waterfall. I think it's the 3rd highest in the park at 83 feet. One of the good things about here is that we get to walk up right to the base of it and get up and close to it. So that's always a bonus when we do these waterfall hikes.
Time for a snack. We've done our wandering here around the falls. We're gonna fuel up for the trek back out.
One of the interesting things about this hike is right here at the end with the last type of, I guess, scramble up the rocks to get to the base of the falls. They look like rock stairs, and so you know, whenever they created this hike and, you know, put this path in, you know, somebody had to come out and put all the rocks in an order, or they fashion into stairs, and so it makes it easier for us who want to come enjoy the falls to do so. So, you know, it's not sure how they did all that because some of the rocks are huge, but it definitely makes the hike in here a little bit easier, and it's a much easier path to follow.
Our message sent.
What Kelly was referring to about our message is on our GPS, we have the ability to send and receive messages. So in an emergency, you know, we can get some help where we need to. It gives the GPS locations, and, you know, we have some preset messages that we have that just says, you know, hey, we're out on a hike, we're okay, and that's what we normally send. And then if we need anything more specific about, you know, it's an emergency or anything, we can send it like that. It's just kind of like texting. And so that's just a nice, you know, safety feature to have when you're out hiking, because sometimes you're in remote areas and, you know, something might happen unexpected. Obviously nobody plans on getting hurt or, you know, a medical issue. or any type of emergency. So it's just nice for that. So we have the Garmin. It's the GPS, I don't know, 64 or 65, or maybe it's the 66. I'm not sure exactly what it is, but it's the newest one that has, you know, obviously GPS, and then it has the in-reach messaging system with it. So I think the plan we have is about 12 bucks a month, and that works out well for us to be able to send unlimited preset messages, and then we have like 10 messages we can send, you know, free of charge. But so far we've only sent pretty much just the preset messages, but if the need arises, we can always send another message if needed.
We have reached our trail junction. So earlier today, we came from this direction, the observation platform of the falls, and now it's time to head up to the fire road to end our journey. Or as I like to say, the best part of the trip, when you're walking back to the car.
Kelly was singing a great song just a minute ago. It's a trail song. So we're trying to get her to say it. Sing it.
I made up a song because we saw another group take a turn at one of the junctions. We looked at the GPS map and it looked like we were on the right path. We looked at the paper map and it looked like we had missed our turn, so we started to head back. But then the trail marker signs that we've been following this whole time led us astray. It said 0.2 miles to Skyline Drive, which we thought, perfect, we're almost to the road, we're almost back to the car. We didn't want Skyline Drive. So I proceeded to make up a tune. It was like, this is the trail that never ends. It just goes on and on, my friends. We started walking about 10:30 o'clock. And we'll finish walking when it's probably turning dusk. This is the trail that never ends.
Here is our trail that we're actually supposed to turn on. To be fair to the trail marker, it did say 0.2 miles to Skyline Drive, and it did give us right to Skyline Drive, but that was not the area that we wanted to be at, because we're at the, what is it, South Falls or something?
South Falls, yeah, the campground.
Yeah, yeah, we have to go to this camp, or the picnic area, and so that's on this trail, which is actually the Appalachian Trail. So we're actually hiking the Appalachian Trail, so that's actually very cool. So we're back on track here, and we should be back to the car shortly.
We're done with the trail. We ended up doing 5.51 miles. Overall though, it was a very nice hike, cool weather, which made it enjoyable. A couple patches of cool breeze, you had to bundle up, but other than that, nice and steady throughout our hike. Probably the highlight after seeing the falls was just the cascading water that came down as you were walking to the base of the falls. It was kind of just their own little waterfalls. You know, if it's a foot or bigger, then that constitutes a waterfall, but that was probably one of the things that I enjoyed walking to the falls, was just the water cascading down from the falls. And that is it for us today. We'll see you on the next adventure.